Canada is a country that was built by immigrants. Each new immigrant comes to this country with the dream of building a new and better life. Most find success. But the road to this new life can be long and difficult.
Everybody talks about Canada being, the land of opportunity. The roads are paved with gold and garbages smell like flowers, right? And then when you get here and it's like, garbage doesn't smell like flowers.
It was really hard because at this time I didn't speak English. I have no any experience. Every week I got around only $250. And this time my wife already, my son in my country, so I gotta pass some money to Poland. I gotta live over here.
When I came to Canada, I was limited. My English was very, very limited. Everybody was asking about Canadian experience. That was a bummer. And then from there was nothing else but a factory. You had to work in a factory. Factory job was very, very hard. For somebody like me, who's never been in that kind of line of work.
Because it can seem like a solution to their problems, new immigrants are sometimes attracted to gambling. Like most Canadians, they're attracted to the dream of winning big.
I've never in my entire life seen any gambling, be it in Kenya or even Arab countries, where the jackpot goes to $1 million. So when I saw $1 million jackpot, that's a lot of money for somebody like me.
Oh, I started to play, yeah. You got a choice, you can switch machines, so you lose $20 on this one, you switch for another one. I want to be feeling high, like, I like this place, I love this place.
It was exciting, it's like Vegas in Toronto. I think we won. We won, maybe like a few hundred or something like that. And that got us hooked, I think.
In Canada, gambling is very common. There are variety stores selling lottery tickets, casinos with card games and slot machines, horse racing tracks and bingo games. Many people play informal card games involving betting. Even though gambling is common, some people choose not to gamble because of their moral or religious beliefs, or because they don't find it interesting. Other people choose to gamble from time to time, but even those people who enjoy the games may not understand them.
People may not understand that the odds are against them in winning, whether it's lottery, like even when you tell them that chances of you winning a 649, for example, are 18 million to 1 or 16 million to 1, it really doesn't sink in.
Most people who gamble have fun and don't lose more money than they can afford to lose. But when people don't understand the games, they run the risk of losing control.
There would be time when I was up for a little bit, and when you're up, you wanted to gamble with higher stakes, and when you do higher stakes, you lose a lot of money.
At the beginning I win, next time I lose, lots more money like I lose, then I think, so probably someday I'm gonna make this money back. But was not the truth.
23. Thank you very much.
To avoid problems with gambling, you have to understand the chances of winning and losing. Casino games, lotteries, horse races, bingo games, and other forms of gambling are all designed to take in more money than they pay out. Over time, players lose more money than they win.
Scientific fact with respect to how games are designed out there is that the longer you gamble, the more money you will lose. That's a fact. So if you choose gambling as a way to make money, you're gonna lose money.
If they keep gambling, they are going to ultimately lose. They'll lose more than they win. That's just the reality of the whole thing.
While some people develop gambling problems, most people who gamble from time to time don't get into any trouble. Without thinking about it, they're actually following guidelines for safe gambling. Anyone who wants to gamble in a safe way can do so by following these guidelines.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing? You feel lucky today. You feel lucky.
The first guideline is to see gambling as a form of entertainment, not a way to make money. Don't expect to come out ahead. Expect to come out behind. If you win from time to time, that's a bonus. Safe gamblers think of this as the cost of entertainment. They expect a movie or dinner in a restaurant to cost money. In the same way, they expect that a night at a casino or a lottery ticket will cost money.
It's the whole question of enjoyment. This is a fun activity. I can afford $20 or I can afford $50, and that's all I can do. I think to that extent the person can really enjoy.
The second guideline is to play with an amount of money that you can afford to lose. Always use money that you set aside for entertainment, not money you need for other things like rent or buying clothes.
So you need to think, okay, can I afford to lose this money? Or can I spend it on gambling and it wouldn't impact my life negatively?
The third guideline is very simple. Never borrow money to gamble.
The difficulty with borrowing is that there is no limit. You may have 6 friends, so you may borrow 6 times $50 from each one of them. Chances are that you may lose borrowed money from all 6 of your friends, and now what's going to happen is that you have to pay them back.
Thanks.
The fourth guideline is to set a limit. Before you gamble, decide how much money you can afford to lose. And when you're down by that much money, stop playing.
People need to set limits as to how much money they can afford to lose. If they win, so they win money. But if they lose, it's not going to have a negative impact on their life.
The last guideline is to balance gambling with other activities. If you start spending more time gambling than you do at other activities, cut back.
A person who gambles for fun would set a limit on 2 important things. One would be time, the other would be money.
People who gamble but don't follow these guidelines put themselves in danger. Just as people who drink alcohol with no control may develop an alcohol problem, people who gamble with no control may develop a gambling problem.
It got pretty bad. It got to a point where I would go, every single day and didn't see family, friends, in relationship, it was just all the casino. Over the years, I think I've lost over $100,000, maybe more.
The first time I lost my place because I didn't pay. I lived one time 1.5 months in the park. I was so many times hungry too. Like sometimes I eat it 1 time a day, sometimes nothing. Because I'm not really care, I'm not feeling for food, I'm just feeling for gambling.
Ended up like putting more money and more money and more money. Yeah, it was almost over 50,000, 60,000. And you come to the realization, this is you're fooling yourself, it's a mirage.
Because it can be so serious, it's important to know the signs of a gambling problem. One of the first signs of trouble is called chasing losses.
When they start losing the money, it starts bringing up this guilt, saying, oh my God, how did this happen? I don't know how did this happen. So I got to get that back. I have to make it back again. So when they get into this chasing phase, that's when they start losing like really huge amounts of money.
Other signs of a gambling problem include spending money needed for other purposes, such as groceries or car payments or rent, and borrowing money to gamble. People with a gambling problem often use their credit cards and lines of credit to the limit. Friends are asked for loans that are never repaid.
So make sure, yes, I get it back and everything is nice. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Sam.
Yeah, Malaikum.
Lying about gambling is another danger sign. The gambler tries to hide how much time and money is being spent. The last sign that gambling is out of control is neglect of family and friends. The gambler uses more and more time for gambling and has less and less time for everything else. Eventually, this behavior has a negative effect on family members.
I think that the effect of a husband or a father gambling will be very, very substantial and great and serious on the family. First of all, the resources they have is already limited. So whatever money he's spending on gambling is at the expense of the family income. That's a big dent on their budget.
Usually there is husband-wife conflict. The children are often caught in between the arguments of husband and wife. Often there are phone calls from people who want their money back. These stresses are virtually in every aspect on the family.
Despite the damage, people with a gambling problem find it difficult to admit the truth to themselves.
No, I'm okay. I have no problems. Nothing is wrong. Everything is just marvelous.
When you're lying to yourself that you have a problem, it's almost like you don't want to face what's really going on. It is very powerful because it's like you're walking around with a cloud over your head.
When people admit the truth to themselves, they take the first step towards freedom from gambling. For most people with a gambling problem, the next step is to get help.
I thought that I can do it on my own in the past, and I failed, repeatedly. So, and I realized that you do need support.
I'm very, very grateful. I had a lot of people who straightened me basically and told me the truth. You can go to churches, you can go to mosques, you can go to community centers. I mean, you can't do it by yourself.
I want to do this for myself, like stay away even half year from the casinos.
People who are worried about their own gambling or the gambling of someone close to them can find counseling, advice, or answers to their questions by calling the Ontario Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-888-230-3505. They can also speak to their doctor. Some people choose to get help from friends or from religious leaders in their community.
When we see somebody with a problem gambling, we try to help them, and give them social counseling. If that's not enough, we try to send them to spiritual leaders in the community. If that's not enough, or if they prefer, we try to send them to professional help in the city.
But the counseling is gonna, get you a different way how you can stop your gambling.
Optimistic about the future, yeah. I'm not going to repeat what I did because I know what I went through.
It was suffocating me, and so now that I'm not gambling, it feels like I can breathe a little bit more, and that cloud is moving away. You can see the sun shining, the birds chirping. So, it's a brighter day, basically.
There are two sides to gambling. Like drinking alcohol, gambling is an activity that some people enjoy in moderate amounts. But in large amounts, it's always dangerous. When people who choose to gamble follow the guidelines for low-risk gambling, they can enjoy games of chance without getting into trouble. When they don't follow the guidelines, they put themselves in danger. But even people who have lost control can put their lives back together by getting help. With the support of counseling, they can learn to control their gambling problem and begin to heal the wound.